Hello, patrons. Hello, patrons. Welcome to this month's Patreon content, where I'm going to walk you through my process for creating the artwork for one of my Patreon reward tiers, the A5 artwork. Hope you enjoy it. Hope it's hope you get something out of it. I've decided that I'm going to show you the whole process. It's kind of an experiment for me, I guess. I think it's kind of could be interesting. Might take a bit longer than you feel like watching, so please feel free to skip ahead. It is about a 25-minute video. But I did speed it up to 500%, so it kind of shows how fast I wish I worked rather than how fast I actually work. What I'm showing here is me sketching some ideas. So I've roughed out a few ideas to get my head in the right frame of mind for doing this illustration. There's a little bit of anticipation with this because I know that the camera's watching me. It's probably more of a psychological difference than anything else, but it does mean that I have to be conscious of the fact that there's a camera and to leave room for that camera to see the page. I do have a tendency to hunch over my work, and while editing this video I needed to remove sections where my big head was in the way. After ruling the borders, the first thing I do is start to sketch out the rough form of the illustration using a blue pencil. I've chosen to use blue pencil in this instance because I think it might be less messy in the long run than using a regular pencil. Once I'm happy with the look of the blue sketch, I then go in with a regular lead pencil to add details. Once I've completed the lead pencil sketch, I then decide to go straight into inking. I'm using a Kuretake pen. I like these pens. They've got a nice soft nib, which allow some nice variation in line width. The pens are pretty easy to use because they're convenient. There's no dipping required. They're not 100% waterproof, which can be problematic when, or if you choose to go over with any kind of wash or watercolor. But generally, if you leave them to dry for a little while, they're quite workable. Here I'm erasing all those messy sketch lines, getting rid of them, so we're just left with the clean ink lines. I do need to go in and sort of re-darken some of the ink lines where I haven't gone in hard enough previously or dark enough, and sometimes just the process of erasing can remove some of that black ink if there was too much pencil below, but it's not a huge issue. And now I start the wash. I'm using Payne's Grey here. I love Payne's Grey. It's the secret ingredient to making any kind of illustration look amazing. It's very easy to use. It's great with black line because it's slightly different color, so it doesn't matter how dark you put it on. It never obscures the line work, and it still has that wonderful watercolor feel, which is what I'm going for. I like to start with the background. It just helps me get the feel of the paint and the paper, and how the pigment's going to react with it, so that when I go and start adding the wash to the figure later, I'll have a better idea of what to expect and how far to push things. Having finished that first wash, I'm now going to start building up the layers, darkening everything, giving a bit more form and depth to that, to those washes, so that I can really, build in some interest to the illustration. So building the tones is probably what takes the longest. It's that gradual layering of pigment just to build up a nice sort of sense of depth and getting those nice watercolor effects, which are just, part of the pleasure of looking at the finished illustration. Having finished that, what I'm doing now is I'm going in and I'm just touching up the highlights. I'm, sometimes where some of the ink is bled, I don't have to do this, but I think it can look kind of nice, and there's sort of a nice kind of look to the way that the white paint sits, almost like a glaze on top of the other pigment. And here's the finished piece. I've enjoyed doing this. This was a lot of fun. It almost feels like an indulgence, really, just to be able to give myself an excuse to sit back and play around and have a bit of a sketch and produce something, a nice finished illustration at the end of it, and play around with some ideas, some process ideas that I've had for a little while. Will this work? There's usually a stack of them in my head that get put on hold while I finish some other project that I'm working on. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed what I've shown you. If you have, please click like or subscribe below, or leave a comment. Thank you too to all my Patreons that have made this video possible. Without you guys, a lot of this stuff would just fall into obscurity, so I truly am grateful. Follow me on my Patreon to see further reveals of my process. Stay tuned for next month.